you, and good morning. Hi, my name is Jen Dean. I am a member of the board and do many other things around here. Thank you. And I go by the pronoun she, her. And our opening words today are The Whisper of Our Souls by Reverend Scott Taylor. Come, let us listen with new ears. Do you hear it? That voice so familiar, yet still far. Less a longing and more a knowing. A whisper of something inside that seems to have known us longer than we've known it. Come, let us listen together. Good morning. I'm Heather Norby. I'm the Spiritual Life Director for this fantastic congregation. And it is really so good to see you all this morning and for us to be together again. We are, of course, all in post-hurricane mode. So we know that a lot of people didn't feel safe or just didn't have the energy to come down and join us this morning. But Oliver is here. He did make it out of his previously flooded development. And Daniel's back there helping out. So we are streaming. So those who couldn't make it are with us today. So I have a few announcements for our call to community. Let me see here. Sorry, I am in post-hurricane mode. Brain is a little slow. Okay, so you all know about the dinner theater, yes? Some of you have your tickets. Some of you are volunteering. If you haven't bought your ticket, the deadline is tonight at midnight. So please, you can go online and go into our newsletter and find the link. To get your ticket, you can go to the Red Tent Initiative website to buy your tickets. This UUCL has always done some sort of Halloween fundraiser. It's a great community building event, and so we are hoping that you will all want to take a break from post-hurricane cleanup and whatnot and come join us. There will be a 4-course meal served. That includes soup and salad and appetizers and a main dish and dessert. And there will be fantastic entertainment, a costume contest, so don't forget to dress up, and a dance party, because we need to dance. Yes. Yes, we do. And if you want to help out, please see me, or I see that Allison's here today. So you're also welcome to see Allison. We've got a Tuesday evening decorating planned at 6:30, and then we've got rehearsal and decorating planned for Friday at 6:30, and we'll be here at noon decorating some cake balls. So you are welcome to join us for any of those. And if you want to be a server, please let me know. Oh, Sherry will serve.
I'm on your list already, I think.
Okay. Thank you, Sherry. We got Fran, we got Sherry. All right.
There's me also. You and Don, yeah.
Well, thank you to all of you who have volunteered already. I'm really looking forward to having some spooky fun. This Wednesday, I think we're canceling. We had the starting point classes scheduled. We're just gonna postpone those because, we're tired. And some people just still aren't safe driving around or don't have gas or whatever. Today, after the service, we also canceled the board meeting. However, you might notice that there's still some moss and sticks around the churchyard. So please, if you feel like you can help out, just pick up, a small area of stuff and throw it onto this street. Don't throw it onto the Troy Avenue pile because there's yellow jackets there. Crystal knows because she was stung. So just pile it up out there. Crystal and Ambra and Shelby and Tom and Melissa and Jerry have all been helping to clean up the yard, so thank you very much. They've done an awesome job so far. They just need a few extra hands to do some of the light work. We do have a couple trees that are going to have to come down, one which we knew before the hurricane, and the other one looks like it got split down the middle during the hurricane. So be careful there. There's 2 trees out there. Probably, don't park under them or walk under them, because one of them has a big old branch that's just kind of like hanging there, and we're going to have an arborist come out soon and look at it. So just please be careful out there. Okay. If you are interested in joining a UU Christian group here at UUCL, you may contact Helen in the office or see Tim. And social justice, Sherry and I we'll regroup now that we're safe and start talking about the UUA's climate justice revival. But in the meantime, we have no budget, and so we're going to take up a UUCL special project collection. Adam's going to tell us a little bit about what a UUCL special project collection is. Thank you, Adam.
Hey, how you doing? So the board decided we're going to start, or perhaps restart, what we call Share the Plate. And the way this is going to work, Share the Plate fundraising target projects will be submitted at monthly meetings, approved or denied by the board. Of course, you can contact me if you have a special recommendation. Target projects may be for outside organizations or for projects under a UUCL committee, so inside and outside. What we'll do is this process will be basically a 50-50 split between the undesignated, a 50-50 split of undesignated donations, for example, just cash on the plate kind of thing, between the target project and UUCL's general fund. And we've decided for external projects, we're going to call it a Share the Plate. For example, we may do a Share the Plate for Red Tent. For a UUCL committee project internally, we're going to call that a UUCL Special Project Collection. So look forward to a UUCL Special Project Collection for social justice very soon.
October 27th, the last Sunday of the month.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, and please check the back of your order of service and our e-newsletter, which is published on Mondays, for more information and all the fun things going on around here. Jen, would you please get our chalice lighted?
Sorry, we're all a mess. Let us create our sacred space by lighting our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, remembering that love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Abby, would you please come light our chalice? Thank you. Let us sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Rise in
glad you love that. Well, maybe, I know Sage doesn't really want me to read her a book, but maybe Tiana and Kai want to read a book with me? Yeah, oh, good. I was prepared just in case. It's a short book. Oh, thank you, Sage. Love your shirt. Come on up. It's so good to see you today. I love your flamingos and your dinosaur. You gonna come sit with me? Oh, you wanna go sit? Okay. Okay. Today I have a book called The Little Book of Joy. What do you think it's about?
I think it would be about a person that lives really far away and the sky is and might be when there was someone else and lived together.
Wait, have you read this book before? Because she's like spot on. Okay. The Little Book of Joy. Whoops. You can have that. One of us grew up in a little house, very far away. One of us grew up in a big house. Our houses were on opposite sides of the world. Look at that, T. Opposite sides of the world. Is that very far away?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I would live like on the other side.
right. That's right. You are on the other side, too. Often, we were sad and lonely. Both of us wished for a friend.
They should get parents so they don't get into trouble.
They should get parents so they don't get in trouble. That is for sure. Sometimes the other kids wouldn't let us play, or they were very far away. We wondered if we would always be sad and lonely. Have you ever felt sad and lonely?
I only feel like that when some of us I always get bullied when I go to school.
Oh, I'm sorry. That would make
It makes me feel left out when I'm at school. That's why I don't like going to school.
I'm sorry. I'd be sad too. Yeah. Well, we won't leave you out here, okay? You'll be able to play. But when we sat still and breathed in the quiet, we noticed something beautiful. If you just focus on the thing that is making you sad, then the sadness is all you see. But if you look around, you will see that joy is everywhere. Look around. Where do you see joy?
I don't see her anywhere.
Don't see her anywhere. Keep looking. Joy is the warm, tingly feeling of the sun tickling your toes in the morning. It's the giggly, squiggly feeling when you are doing something silly. Are you doing something silly?
I'm trying to go back late.
Okay, then you'll feel joy, right? And it's the soft, snuggly feeling of being all wrapped up, cozy in your bed at night.
I usually sleep with my jacket on.
Yeah, does that make you happy?
No, but it makes me
Make it more warm, okay? Very practical. Yeah. Even when you are caught in the rain and your joy is washed away, it's waiting at the bottom of the puddle. Even if you slam the door and your joy can't get in, it's just on the other side waiting in a loving hug. And even if there is a loud noise in the night and your joy gets scared away, it comes streaming right back with the light of the silvery moon.
I usually wake up and run to my parents' room.
Yeah,
I usually sleep there sometimes.
yeah, good idea.
Because I'm scared of big noises.
That's right, yeah.
I'm scared of tornadoes and hurricanes.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, me too. We're all scared. Yeah.
I've had a tornado before.
Yeah, they're
I
very
had a
scary.
tornado when I was like a baby.
Yeah?
I lived with my mother and there was a hurricane. I was sleeping and I woke up.
Yeah,
I was crying the whole
I
time.
bet. I kind of want to cry during tornadoes too.
Because
Yeah.
I would build a shelf. I would hide in the hallway, and which is because my hallway in my house doesn't have any windows.
Yeah.
That would be the safe place.
That would be the safe place to go. Joy is the bubbly, bouncy feeling of finding a good friend. And once you let joy in like magic, your heart always has room for more. We discovered that the more joy we shared, the more joy we had. And the more joy we had, the more joy we could share. So look for the joy all around you and share it. Write it in a letter, play it on a drum, sing it to the sky. Can you sing joy to the sky? Ah. It will travel up in the air and across the ocean. Someone will find it.
I'm not used to singing yet.
Oh, okay, all right. We'll teach you. And share it. And as it spreads from person to person, the world will fill with joy. The end. And this was written by His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, and Desmond Tutu. Cool, huh? They know how to spread joy. They found each other, and they learned how to be friends and spread joy. So I just want to say thank you for listening to my story. And can I shake your hand and say, I wish you joy?
I wish I lived in Maine because I don't like hurricanes.
That would be joyful, wouldn't it? Yeah, not always. All right, well, guess what you get to go do now? You get to go play. Does that sound joyful? What do you think, Kai?
It does.
Yay. All right, Sage, thank you, and much joy to you. Hug, hand, what do you like? All right. Have fun. I can't ever skip an opportunity to read to children. Let's see, there we go. Jen, would you please light our healing candle? Thank you. Whew. Well, it's been a rough week. It's amazing how things can change in just 1 week. But here we are, and I know that I'm grateful to have all of you here and for us to be together today. So I offer you a prayer, a healing prayer for deep listening during stormy times. Spirit of life and love, it is hard to listen in the midst of anxiety. Our minds may be distracted, worried, busy with preparing for the coming storm. We might not be listening to each other, even if we need one another for support. We might not be listening to our bodies, even if our bodies are trying to tell us to slow down and to take better care. Spirit of life and love, we call upon you to nudge us when we forget, when the waves of overwhelm become so much that we cannot listen to what we really need. Nudge us with a gentle touch, a happy reminder of better times and what really matters. not just through the sacred eyes of our pets, our children, and our grandparents too. Remind us to slow down, take a deep breath, and just listen. Spirit of life and love, be with us during the storm as we listen, and after the storm, even when we're hearing the echoes of the howling winds and the pounding rain. Guide us to safety, comfort, and support. Lead us towards love and the promise of sunshine once again. Amen and blessed be. Just want to take a moment to invite anyone who needs something to let us know what you need. For example, a gas-powered chainsaw or a hot shower. I know I don't have electricity yet. I took a shower here at church today. We do have a shower here, just so you know. You can take a hot shower. We have some bigger branches that need to be cut, and since we have no power, we can't use the electric saw. So if you are like looking for a way to use your gas-powered chainsaw, come on over. And Adam and I won't mind if you cut up that tree. Does anybody else need something right now after the storm? Because we're here to help each other. And I've had a lot of people say, I have power, come over. So don't be shy. Anybody? Everybody have power back on? No, Lily, Grace, no, I know. It's like we're last on the line. You need anything? Hot showers?
We're all caught up.
Okay, good.
2 hours, 7 minutes down the street.
Okay, cool. All right, well, yeah, that's kind of gross. I'm not looking forward to that. Well, my fridge, yeah. So I just want you to know that we are here for one another and we can help one another. That's what makes us a community. So please reach out to me if you need something and we'll make it happen. Oh, Jen needs a chainsaw as well. Okay. Just want to put that out there. Thank you. A ritual of joys, concerns, and sorrows embodies the belief that there is power in being together and in holding one another in the significant, the precious, the hard, and the joyful moments of our lives. In our Joys and Sorrows book, you are able to write any significant joy or sorrow occurring in your life that you would like for the congregation to know. It sits on the table at the entrance of the sanctuary before the service, and I read from it before we take time to participate in our weekly ritual of placing pebbles in the bowl of water. I have a few today. Crystal, who I think she's out of town, but she's been here all week, so working. So she wrote that her joy is that we are safe. Her sorrow is that there is great suffering in the world. And she wrote, I was stung. Ouch. Yes, she was. But we are very lucky. Lily writes, although our roof is more of a strainer at the moment, we are all safe and sound. Thank goodness. Jen writes, joyful that we made it through the storm and have this community. Sorrowful to see the worst of people come out during stressful times. Thinking about all of those without power and those dealing with loss and destruction of property. Thank you, Jen. Sherry writes, with great privilege comes great responsibility. I forget who said that. I am exhausted from the 2 hurricanes, but grateful that me, my peeps, our pets, and property made it through. I am exhausted from all the political noise, but grateful to live in America where we still have free and fair elections. And I am very grateful to have my UUCL family. Love you all. Let's celebrate life. Thank you, Sherry. And Tom Mead writes, my second experience in the eye of a hurricane. Very quiet and no rain or tornadoes. Milton relocated half my carport roof. Otherwise fine. Sorry to hear that, but glad you're fine. Thursday, Milton conducts a symphony on deep listening. Did anyone listen? If you stayed, you were listening, I am sure. And someone else wrote, I am so grateful to be here. And again, I'm so grateful to have you all here. Thank you. So you are invited now to come forward and place a colored stone or stones representing your joys, concerns, and sorrows into the water. Each stone that we drop into the water represents a different thing that you may need in the midst of this moment. You may take whichever stone feels right to you, drop it in, connecting to others, and feeling the power of being together in this community. And please, Jen, if you could put a purple stone in for Joshua for healing. Joshua's also in the hospital, so that's why he's not here today. Tim, thank you. Candles? Oh, we'll do that. And to everyone watching online, thank you for joining us, and Jen can put a stone or two in for all of you.
Here we gather, tucked back in this friendly neighborhood between the beautiful tall pines. We are a community of people who have arrived from many different paths, yet we seek a common goal: to bring more love to a hurting but beautiful world. As Unitarian Universalists, we aspire to reach this goal through our shared values, one of which is the value of equity. To embrace equity, we declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. And we covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. And I would like to go off script at the moment and just say this is also a time to remember that we are a group of people who are here for each other during the hardest times. And if we don't maintain this community, we wouldn't be here. So just think of that. We need this community. Our ushers will now pass the plate so that we may live in our value of equity.
Thank you. Let us take a moment to center and contemplate that which we are exploring this month, the practice of deep listening. Does deep listening mean listening to the person and also listening to the spirit of life, love, and/or God within that person? Does deep listening mean listening that connects you to the interdependent web of all existence? Does deep listening mean listening more to yourself, to connecting to your own authentic voice, to that still, small voice within? As we ready ourselves for the practice of deep listening this morning, I ask you to come light a candle for yourself to remind you of the still small voice that you have within you, because today, that's what you're going to be listening to. So I invite you up to light from the healing candle. We can use the thing, whatever it's called, the thingy. Who's got the word in their brain for the thing? Thank you, the chalice lighter. Light a candle. We can start from the back candles. Please be careful. But let it remind you of your light and how you can shine. Because I'm going to ask you to get in touch with that today as we engage in a spiritual practice this morning. So come on up. We shine brightly. Okay, that's fine. You should all have a gray hymnal. We're going to sing our still small voice into being together by singing hymn number 391, entitled Still Small Voice.
Still yourself and listen, and soon, in time, the mystery will begin to speak to you through its thousand disguises of his life on earth, written by poet Mark Nepo.
Thank you. In Western Christianity, Lectio Divina, or Lectio Divina, as the guy on YouTube says, it's Latin for divine reading. It is a traditional monastic practice of scriptural reading, meditation, and prayer, intended to promote communion with God and to increase the knowledge of God's word. One person says, it does not treat scripture as text to be studied, but as the living word. As Unitarian Universalists, we may approach this differently. We have many sources of wisdom. And in your gray hymnals, you all have a gray hymnal, you will find readings in the back, and they are categorized by what we have called our 6 sources of wisdom. In the front of the book, you'll see there's a table of contents, and it tells you, it lists the 6 sources of wisdom and the readings that go along with it. So you can kind of take a look now and see what you can find, because you're going to be reading to yourself today as we practice Lectio Divina. Additionally, as Unitarian Universalists, while these words were written by others, it is the still small voice within us that we are listening to as we read. How do the words call to our still small voice? How does our still small voice, which is sacred, interact with these words from the source of wisdom we are reading? Now, I also did say you could bring your own sacred text, because as you use, we find the sacred in many different ways. Gail introduced me to this practice because she listened to something called Harry Potter and the Sacred Text, in which they use this practice called Lectio Divina. So we're going to do this together today. It'll give us some quiet time to help us process all that's been going on. There's 4 steps to this practice. There's one, reading to yourself, and I'm going to walk you through all of these. And then meditation, and then prayer, which is a hard thing for Unitarian Universalists, but we'll kind of go over it and talk about what that can look like. And contemplation. So we've already prepared ourselves a little bit, right? We've made our space sacred. We've lit in the chalice. We've done our joys and sorrows, and we've lit candles to represent the light within us. Our sanctuary is quiet. Hopefully you find it restful, comfortable. Make sure you get comfortable. And work on quieting yourself. Work on quieting your mind. Just start by breathing slowly. Feel free to just close your eyes if you need to block out distractions. And focus on what you think is holy or divine or sacred. We have many different words here in our congregation for that thing. But figure out what you call it. And when your mind starts to wander, you can bring your mind back to that word that you hold for whatever is sacred or holy or divine. And just breathe in gently and breathe out. Call that word back into your mind and let it be with you. And I offer you a prayer for guidance from the Spirit of life, as we call it. Come, Spirit of life, fill our hearts with the fire of love so we may renew ourselves. Centered in this love, guide us in the ways of our values so we may turn the world towards a beautiful hope. When you feel that you're centered and when you have that word and you are relaxed, I invite you to find a reading, just one reading in the back of the hymnal. It can be whichever reading that calls to you. And read it slowly, gently. Come to an understanding of the words themselves. When a phrase or verse strikes a chord, stop and reflect upon it. What does it mean to you? What does it say about love and mystery? Or maybe there's even something that disturbs you about it. Sometimes sacred text is hard to understand. But find that reading that's calling to you now as you sit in this sacred space, coming back to yourself and your still small voice after a week of hardship. And we'll just take a couple minutes more for you to find that reading. And then after we read it and read it again, we meditate on the reading, visualizing it, listening for the aspect of it that reveals the divine mysteries. We want the deeper spiritual meanings of the words now, looking for how it sheds light on life and love. And when we're done with meditation, when we're done connecting our still small voice to the divine mysteries in the words, we engage in prayer. Now, some of us here find prayer useful in praying to a higher power, and some of us find prayer useful in simply asking ourselves in our still small voice to just change us. We ask ourselves to be changed by what we read, to come more fully into being what love calls us to, and to help us call this meaning of the sacred text to our lives. So I invite you to pray silently, to ask yourself to be deliberate about being changed by these words. And the final step is contemplation. And this is the moment where we find gratitude. Gratitude for what we've read, gratitude for new thoughts of hope and of love. What are you thankful for in this moment? And while this is not a step in the traditional practice of Lectio Divina, I'm going to invite you to share what you read, to share what you were thinking about, to share how it might have changed you, to share what you were grateful for, whatever you feel moved to share. You are welcome to come up and stand here and share with the congregation briefly, since it is almost noon. But I want to be generous because with our time, because it's been a hard week, and I think that we need to share and we need to hear from each other. And I always find that when we share together, we're drawn just a little bit closer as a community. We learn things about one another that we didn't know. So I welcome. Jen will get us started. Thank you.
One of the things I was thinking about through this is just everybody being understanding of themselves and being kind to themselves and being understanding to other people. I know Thursday morning at about 1 a.m., I had had enough. My entire body just said, "You've had enough." And I left my husband by himself to keep the interior water at bay. And I went upstairs and fell asleep. And then since then, I've, been having random panic attacks for seemingly, my husband thinks, no reason. And I know our own Jenny Warren shared something on social media that said, you can expect something to come up randomly maybe 3 months from now, or who knows? These things are traumatic. We're all living through them. We all deal with them in different ways. I texted Heather and I was like, she's in Georgia, and I'm like, I need you back home. I'm having a panic attack. So just know that we're a community. We're all here for each other, and just be kind to yourselves and one another.
Of meeting. Out of wood and stone, out of dreams and sacrifice, the people build a home. Out of the work of their hands and hearts and minds, the people fashion a symbol and a reality. May this house be truly a place of meeting one another in warmth and joy and openness, meeting one another in courage and love and truth. May all who enter here trust one another so surely that they dare to share the deep fires that burst into anger as much as the sweet spring waters that swell into laughter, the slow erosion of wounded tears as much as the soaring song. May these walls know silence as 100 hearts search inward, each for its own small spark of hope that might otherwise be snuffed out in the noise. May these rafters hear the voice of the child as surely as that of the orator, and the sound of the lute, and the clack of the typewriter, the swish of the broom, and know that all are as holy as the shout of 1,000,000 stars. May the rain fall lightly on this house, the sun shine warmly, the winds blow softly, and bless it as a place of joy and peace.
So I randomly turned to number 729, which is the winds of summer. You and I and all of us blew about with the winds of summer. Here we are. I find rest in the cool stillness of shadows. What gives me cool resting shadows here in Florida are the trees. And of course the trees have been blown around by the winds of summer. I do like slow, heat-struck rhythms and long hours of summer light. But these are going. As it says, summer is fading backwards into memory. And winter waits, but we're in Florida. So it waits in its now, brilliance. It's now. And yes, I meet with eagerness and delight with you. Eagerness and delight, because we need each other for sharing. Thank you.
Okay, so I can't find what I read, but it doesn't really matter. Because when we got to the end and we're asked to think about what we would be grateful for, what I decided was that I am grateful for the gift of time to try to get things right.
I read 602, If There Is to Be Peace, which I'll read out loud because I love reading out loud. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. And I ruminated a lot on that one because I think peace on earth is one of those things that we throw around a whole lot. Like, yeah, of course I want peace on earth. But I'm not a very peaceful person. Not in the sense that I'm like violent and mean, but in that, like, yeah, I'll fight for that, you know? And sometimes to me, making peace with things or being peaceful feels more like giving up, and giving up feels like losing. And I would like to shift toward being able to make peace with things in a way that doesn't feel like giving up or losing, or learning that giving up and losing is not necessarily a negative thing, and that's just the way things are, and that it's okay to be okay with that.
Thank you, all of you. I really appreciate all of your words of wisdom. I hope that you found this practice useful. You're welcome to, look at those gray hymnals anytime you want, anytime you need inspiration. And of course, if you didn't find it useful, you can complain to me too. That's what I'm here for, right? But I'm just so grateful for all of the sharing that we're able to do in this community, and that it feels safe. So thank you all for making this, because it's all of you that make this a safe space. Thank you. And with that, Jen has our closing words.
Listening That Leads, written by Reverend Joe Cleveland. May we be a people of deep listening, committed listening, a listening that leads to healing, a listening that leads to wholeheartedness, a listening that helps us grow in compassion, a listening that helps you discern an action for justice making that you can make, a listening that nurtures the self-change. May you find your practice of listening to be a blessing for yourself May your listening be a blessing to others. Listen.
Well, some of the musicians couldn't make it today, so we don't have our usual closing song. So I thought I'd ask for a suggestion. Is there a hymn, either in the gray hymnal or the teal hymnal, that you really want to sing right now, that you really need right now? Anybody? Because you can throw it at Adam and he can just play anything. Unless Tim wants to give it a try. I didn't think so.
I've played almost all the hymns in the book.
He's played almost every hymn in the books. For the beauty of the earth. You got it. What number is that? 21. In the gray hymnal.
Yeah, this is an old classic. It's like, Civil War era hymn. Yeah, it goes like this. This is the tune. You want all four verses?
Yeah, we're hungry. Let's do just the first two. How's that? Is that okay, Gail?
Are you doing it? The words went away.
What? We sing the chalice extinguishing words with me. We
Extinguish this chalice, put out the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.
Well, normally I send you out into the world with zeal, but I think that we're all tired, so let's just go eat. Remember that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are a blessing. Thank you.
I screwed up that last time. What?
Played better than ever today, in my opinion.
Well, thank you very much. I just meant, Adam showed me that. I had the song ready in the key of G. It was written, but Adam mentioned I'm trying to do it earlier. And I got it all mixed up. I was, whatever.